What's up, everybody? Did y'all get into this last episode of Greenleaf? Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, thanks for clicking on the link. This is fixing to be a fair play review of the mid-season finale of Greenleaf. It's, of course, season 2, episode 8, and sparks fly upward. Woo! Explosive. Everything that has been going on during this season on Greenleaf came to an apex. It finally came to a climax, rather, with every situation that had been going on. Let's get started, because there was a lot going on, but yet not necessarily. Anyway, so they picked up from last week when Gigi ran out of the house after the memorial service for Faith. Along the way, driving, she was speeding, of course, and she was having all these flashbacks of when she had talked to Mavis about Uncle Mac and all this. And she winds up encountering a deer. A deer leaps across the street, and she tries to dodge him, and she winds up having a very bad accident. She winds up totaling out the Greenleaf security car, because that's the vehicle that she was in that day. She winds up crawling out of the passenger side of the window. And she calls Darius Nash, who comes to her rescue. Now, he also took her home to the mansion. And now this was his first time ever going to the Greenleaf house, because, you know, he wasn't welcome around there. Because May and them didn't like him because he was a journalist. And he would put news out about the Greenleaf family. So they ain't had nothing for Darius Nash. But anyway, this is the first time he arrives at the house. This is his first time also meeting Sophia. Now, Darius looks around and he notices how fancy and posh the house is and everything. And he also notices and realizes how nice and sweet Sophia is. He tells her happy birthday. When she tells him, thank you for bringing my mother home, he tells her happy birthday, sweetie. So May and them acting real worried and like they so glad that Gigi is safe. And I know for a fact May ain't never liked Gigi. But she acting real... She acting like she care. For the first time in 2 seasons, May is acting like she actually has some kind of motherly feelings for Gigi. So anyway, all of this time while Gigi is sitting down in a chair, she had told them she'd been in a bad car accident because they've been trying to call her all day. May and the bishop are basically, well, May actually is trying to rush Darius out of the house. She said, we can take it from here, thank you. We don't want to hold you up or anything. And he realizes that she doesn't want him there. And he's like, well, I guess it's about time for me to leave. I guess I'll be going. So he says, nice house on the way out. And when he said it, I don't know if it was something about the way he said it, but May looks at him real funny. She sneers at him. Like I said, she doesn't like him anyway. So then the bishop, after Darius leaves, Sophia walks him to the door. There was a lot of words exchanged between them during that time, but the bishop tells Gigi that he believes that God sent that deer to block her from doing something that she would eventually regret. And Gigi, you know, she doesn't argue with him and everything, but she says in so many ways that she's learned her lesson. She gets it, okay? So when she goes upstairs, Sophia's up there with her, and she goes off on Gigi. She tells her about her foolish, erratic behavior, and she just wants her to stop being crazy. Because she can't keep watching and worrying about Gigi, basically. She says she's young, she's going to college. She got her own life to live, basically. And Gigi tells her, she says this is her cross that she has to bear. And then Sophia tells her, well, you're becoming my cross. And Gigi tells her, she says, I don't know if I can let this thing go. Because Sophia told her, you need to let it go. You really need to let this go. I know you want to see Matt go to jail, but you need to let this go. What are you going to do? There may be nothing you can do about this. And Gigi says, I don't know if I should let it go or not. I don't know if I can let it go. But she tells her that she'll try to do it. She'll try to leave it alone. She can't make no promises, but she'll try. Okay, so then they saw Charity. She's up changing the baby that night. And Jabari calls her on the telephone, and he invites her to come to Nashville because he wants her to meet up with some Los Angeles-based gospel group. And he wants her to actually fly out the next day. So she says she's going to pull some strings to see what she can do, and she'll let him know in the morning. Okay. Then they saw Jacob. Jacob, he's at home with Clarissa. Jacob apparently, after this last incident where Basie lost all the money, Jacob decided to come clean and tell Clarissa all about Triumph's money problems and about how Basie done drained the church bank account and what he and Basie have been up to with the gambling. So Clarissa is talking about Basie like a dog, baby. She thinks Tasha taught Basie how to play poker and everything. She was wondering if Tasha knew that Basie was gambling. And then she says, well, Tasha probably taught him how to play. So yes, she probably knows. Clarissa ain't got no problem telling nobody what she thinks of them, you know. So anyway, she finally tells Jacob that she found that $100 bill on the floor that day that he had been looking up and researching Bass, the Bass guy. She tells him that she finds $100, and he's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And she's like, "Jacob, really? You care about $100?" So anyway, Jacob says that he'll think of something to get them out of this situation. And Clarissa tells him, "Well, you need to hurry up." She said, "But your plan had better not involve crawling back to the mansion and to see that mansion and your sneering mammy." Basically, she said, "We ain't going back to Lady May house, period." You know, Clarissa got too much pride for that. We ain't crawling back to Calvary at all. So then they show Mac and his old lady. The lady's name is Misty, but I'm going to call her old lady because that's what she is. Because I'm so used to Mac, the idea of Mac being with young girls. So this Mac old lady, okay? Anyway, they getting ready to go to church this Sunday. And Mac's phone rings. And his old lady starts questioning him like she always do because she's real insecure. And every time his phone rings, she be like, "Who is that? Who is that? Who is it this time?" What they want, you know. So anyway, when the phone rings, she begins to question him. And Mac gave this look like he wanted to cuss her out. I'm telling you, Mac can't stand this woman. And we're going to find out how much he can't stand her later on in this review, okay? So anyway, he lies to her and he tells her that it's Sophia when it's actually Michaela, of course. And he tells her that she and her mom are beefing again. So so Mac tries to change the subject by bringing up a scarf that he given her. He goes back to the closet, he pulls out this scarf, and he puts it around her neck because he wants her to wear it. But his old lady keeps questioning him about the girl calling him every day, supposedly Sophia. She's like, "Why that girl keep calling him?" She says, "Your niece should get her own friends and have a kumbaya with them and basically leave Mac alone. And she needs to act like a normal teenager." And so the old lady feels that she's doing too much. And Mac tells her, he said, "I'll take care of it. I'll end it if you want me to." And she says, "Yeah, thank you. Please do that," basically. So she tells him that she loves him. And he, in return, says, "I love you too." So Mac is really playing her big time. He's faking the funk. He faking the funk. He can't stand this woman. He just using her, basically. So anyway, when they get outside, May tells the old lady that he's going to leave Sophia. Actually, when they get to the church parking lot, he tells his girlfriend that he says, "I'm going to call and I'm going to leave Sophia a message," a.k.a. Michaela, "to let her know not to call me so much." He says he don't want it to ruin anything between the two of them. So old lady says, "Okay, thank you for doing that." So she goes on into the church, I guess. So he actually does call Michaela. And he tells her she's going to have to stop calling so much because she's causing problems. Well, while he's talking to her, Michaela begins to tell him that her mama done snapped again. She acting a fool again and she needs somewhere to crash for a few days. And Mac pauses because he wants to help her. But he realizes that he can't. He tells her, "I can't help you. I can't do it." She's begging him, but he's like, "I can't do it. I'm sorry." And he hangs the phone up in Michaela's face. So then they go to Sunday morning now. While they're in the parking lot, they show Charity singing up a storm in the church. She got on her short, tight dress and, ooh, she just having a good old time. You see Charity in a way you ain't never seen Charity this season. I mean, she just all out there, you know, just all out there. So anyway, meanwhile, at Triumph, the same Sunday morning, Jacob walks into Basie's office and Basie is listening to gospel music and dancing. He's just getting down. He's trying to get amped up and energized for the Sunday morning service that he about to give. And Jacob wants to know if he has a plan. And Basie says, "What's wrong with you? What you worried about?" And Jacob was like, "You know what the problem is." He said, "I don't know what the problem is." He said, "You worry too much." So Basie says he's got it taken care of. So he tells Jacob to watch him work. So they go out. Basie goes out in the pulpit and he preaches up this fiery message on sin. And he starts telling people to put money into the offering plate. You know how some of these pastors do. They get to begging folks for money. They preach their hardest when they want to beg. And that's what he was doing. Now, I go to church, been in church all my life, and I love the good word. But Basie is one of those pastors that everybody talks about. He out there trying to dupe the people, okay? So he tells these people, put your money in the offering plate. Sow a seed of faith. Sow big seeds of faith, not no little bit of seeds of faith. So that was his plan, was to get the money back from the people, okay? So everybody amped up except Clarissa and David because they know he crooked. They know what the problem is, all right? So meanwhile, back at Calvary, the bishop is also preaching heaven down, honey. He giving out this big, strong message of salvation. Kevin is holding on to the baby. And then Kevin looks back and sees Aaron having a good time. So Kevin is making it obvious that he's wanting Aaron. Okay, you can see it all in his eyes. Gigi is sitting up in the pulpit and she feeling the spirit, and she begins to look and she starts shedding tears and looking up in the air. And it's at that moment that I realized that Gigi has decided to let this whole thing with Mac go, at least for a little while. She's decided to just relinquish it. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to give it to God. You could tell that that's what's happening in that moment, okay? So back at Triumph, after church, Zora gets permission from Clarissa to go to Isaiah's rehearsal. You know, Isaiah is the boy that she's been going with, a little boyfriend. So she goes to his rehearsal. Clarissa lets her go. Jacob tells Clarissa that he has an idea about how to fix Triumph's mess and to get freedom from Basie. He wants this whole situation to be fixed quickly. And he tells Clarissa he got a plan, but it's going to be expensive. And she says freedom is expensive. Okay, she says, tell me what the plan is. So he tells her, you know, that wedding money that we got? Yeah, let's use that. We're going to use our wedding money that we got from the bishop and Lady May, that they gifted him, to buy T2 from Basie, Triumph 2 from Basie. And apparently Clarissa must have agreed with this, okay? This was going to enable Basie to replenish the church bank accounts and not get into any trouble. So like I said, apparently she goes along with this because you see Jacob talking to Basie later, which I'll get to in a minute. So that same day at Calvary Church, Sophia and Roberto is her new boyfriend. They come in and they bring a baby lamb to Gigi's office. He's a cute little white baby lamb. He's just bad. And Gigi is thinking how cute he is too. And she's in this really good mood for some reason. And Sophia notices how good of a mood she's in. And Sophia, of course, doesn't realize it's because that day, Gigi actually had a moment of peace, a moment of relief while she was sitting up in the pulpit listening to her daddy preach. So anyway, so she's no longer bound with all that anger she done had all season for Mac. She's free for the first time in a long time, okay? So she tells Sophia to make sure that she meets them for dinner, her and Darius, at 6 o'clock. Sophia says, like, what restaurant are we supposed to be at? And so Gigi tells her, and of course she agrees to meet them for dinner that night. Okay. So Kevin is at church in his office. Apparently these people stay at church a lot. So even after church, they don't go home. They go back to the office at church. So Kevin is in his office holding the baby. And he's on the laptop still looking for an apartment. Charity comes in and she asks him if he minds her going to Nashville in a few hours. Remember, Jabari had told her there was going to be a 3 o'clock flight. He had just told her the night before, so it's the next day, and she's getting ready to go, and she asks Kevin, and Kevin mentions that he still hasn't found an apartment. And she says, don't worry about it, you can stay at the mansion. So it clicks in his brain, Aaron is there. So, I mean, he didn't say this, but me knowing the story, he's pretty happy that the fact that he's going to be able to stay there in that house with Aaron. Okay, so he tells her, okay, he good with that, fine by me, go on, have fun. So she thanks him, and she goes on out the office. So then they show Mac and Misty, the old lady. They back home after church. Now this is where it gets really ugly for Mac. Okay, this is, to me, the climax of this actual episode. Mac and the old lady come back after church. She going in the kitchen to warm up some food for dinner. Then Mac gets a call from Mayor Leonard. You know, Mayor Leonard was the one from last episode that promised him he was going to help him get a job after Mac tried to bribe him. And he said, yeah, I'm going to help you. I'll help you get a job and everything. Well, Leonard called him and told him, he said, I can't help you get a job. And Mac was like, why? We had an agreement. He said, I know we did. He said, he getting a lot of pushback. He said he's got plans and he can't be dragging Mac so sick looking, you know what. He can't drag his old sick looking butt around. So Mac asked, who's responsible for this? Who did this? The mayor says, who did this? He said, Mac, you did this to yourself. And he told Mac to lose his number, honey. So in other words, the mayor is done with Mac. He ain't got nothing else for Mac. Okay? So then Misty, once again with her nosy, insecure self, she says, who was that? She asked that man his business for the last time, y'all. Let me tell you. When she asked him who it was on the phone this time, Mac stopped and looked. He said, none of your business. Now, was I the only one that got excited when he told old lady to mind her business and it ain't none of your business? I don't know why, because she been getting on my nerve this whole these past few episodes. She just questioned too much, too controlling. Anyway, he told her, none of your business. And she came out the kitchen. She said, excuse me? And Mac says, who are you to be questioning somebody? He said, haven't you ever done anything wrong? So she comes in and she starts trying to sweet talk Mac, and she changes her tune up then. And then she says, I know that I'm not saying that I'm perfect. Mac looked at her, because y'all know Mac can be something else. Mac said, perfect? He said, you are the most bottom shelf, off-brand piece of rotten old ass I've ever laid hands on. Y'all know I don't cuss. But that's what he told her. You the most rotten piece of tail. Like, Lord, Mac, I don't like that lady, but he ain't have to do it like that. He told that lady she was the most bottom shelf, off-brand piece of rotten old tail that he's ever laid his hands on. She was stunned. She was looking all crazy and upset. And then Mac told her to get out. And she tried to beg him, Mac, don't do this. He said, get out. She's, please, Mac, don't do this. He told her one more time, get out. And she knew he wasn't playing with her. So she finally got her stuff and she left crying, upset, distraught, okay? Mac is mad, honey. Mad. So after old lady leave, he calls Michaela and he asks her, do she still need somewhere to stay? So it's understood that he's going to let her come over at that point. All right, then they go. Now, this is something else, another scene that blows up. Zora is at the studio with Isaiah and all his friends and everything, all the people that's working on his album with him. So she's in the studio, and after he's singing this real nice upbeat song, I really like the song. I'd never heard it before, but he asked Zora, I guess he was talking to her. He says, how was it? And she says, it was great. I loved it. And he was like, good. And then she starts critiquing him. She says, but that part, that brick by brick part, we need to tweak it a little bit because it's a little flat. He don't like that. Everybody get quiet because apparently all these people in the studio know how he is. He gets quiet. He looks at her. And then he tells her to meet him in the hallway. So they go outside in the hallway. And he went off on her, honey. He ate her up like Ike did Tina on What's Love Got to Do with It. Y'all remember that scene where Tina was in the booth singing and Ike came over and told her, sing it like I wrote it. And he just went off on her. Well, he did several times. But this boy reminded me of Ike Turner. Okay? And she was like Tina. She didn't say one word, but okay, she might as well have said yes, sir, when that boy talked to her. He told her the next time he asked her if she liked a song, she's supposed to say yes and nothing else. Don't be, and he even told her, don't be interrupting me while I talk. So he's controlling her. This dude got abusive tendencies. OM God. Let me tell you something. OMG. Sophia dodged a bullet with him, honey. She dodged a bullet. So after he got through telling her off, he walked back in the studio. Everybody in the studio heard him go off on him. Didn't nobody say nothing. And she was stupid enough to go back in there. But she eventually calls Sophia to come and get her because she ready to go at that point, of course. But I don't even feel sorry for Zora because Sophia been trying to tell her, he controls you. Why do you do everything he wants you to do? So anyway, I don't feel sorry for her. So she calls Sophia, and Sophia, I guess, agrees to come and get her. But remember, Sophia's supposed to be meeting Gigi at the restaurant that day too now. So anyway, the next thing you see is Jacob goes to Basil's office, and he tells Basil his plan. Jacob plans to pay Basil's gambling debt off with the money that they got from their wedding gift from his mama. Basil, he says that we're going to pay your debt off with the church, and you're going to give us Triumph too. Everything will be fixed. Nobody will know your business and you'll be able to walk away free. Well, Basil hates his plan because he don't want to turn over T2 to Jacob. He gets mad with him and really thinks that Jacob is his enemy. He even threatens him and tells him nobody's going to want to work with him because of the way he's doing him. I mean, Basil's crazy and delusional at this point. And Jacob is trying to help him. Jacob starts telling him how he appreciates everything he did for him, but that he's trying to help him. Basil don't want to hear it. I mean, he's really acting stupid when he's in a position where he could go to jail if he ain't careful. So anyway, he feels betrayed for some reason. So Jacob gets some backbone with Basil, and he actually stands up to Basil, and he tells him that his plan is the only option that he has, and he walks away. He said, this is all you got. You get to walk away free. I'm through with it. Bye. He leaves. So you leave, you understand that Basil, or we think, we're left with the impression that Basil is going to have to go along with Jacob's plan. But knowing Basil, there's no telling what he might try to do. So then they go and they show Mac and Michaela. They're at home watching TV. And Max gets up and actually fixes him and her a drink. Okay? He hands the girl a drink. They discuss a little bit of discussion about what's on TV. She hands him the remote and she sits there and drinks her bourbon. So then they saw Gigi and Darius at the restaurant. And Gigi is getting concerned because she hadn't heard from Sophia. She keeps trying to call and Sophia's not answering her phone. And she feels like Sophia is paying her back for when she had left the day before and Sophia, nobody could get in touch with her. So she was like, I guess she paying me back for the way I treated her. So then they show Sophia. She finally arrives to pick up Zora. She got lost along the way, and Zora's like, what took you so long, in her nasty Clarissa fashion? What took you so long? Oh, let's go. I mean, just, if I was Sophia, I would have left her there. Because she didn't act right. She's just so disrespectful. She act just like her mama. So anyway, then they show Mac back. They go back to Mac's apartment while he's there with Michaela. Michaela done fell asleep. Okay, she under the spell of that bourbon she drunk. And so while she's asleep, Mac tries to get that girl's cookie. And he's rubbing all over her, kissing all on her hips and stuff. She's still asleep. She don't know none of this going on. And he's trying to get that girl cooter pop while she's asleep, basically. So she wakes up, realizes what's going on, realizes what is going on, and then she fights him off, and she actually runs out of the apartment. See, I don't feel sorry for her either, because she ain't had no business there in the first place. Now, I know she was looking for somewhere to stay and be at peace, but that man is old. That's an old man, and she ain't have no business being up under that grown old man, much less drinking liquor with him, okay? So anyway, she ups and run off, okay? Then they show Kevin back at the mansion, and Kevin is laying the baby down. So he goes to Aaron's room to watch TV with him. So they talk for a few minutes about him looking for an apartment. And then the next thing you know, Aaron makes his move, which Kevin wanted him to. He starts kissing all over Kevin. They start making out. And Aaron even takes his belt off. So we're left with the assumption that something happens and the rest is history. Okay? At this point. We don't know what's going to happen. But whatever happens, Charity is responsible for what's going on with Kevin. Because Kevin was trying not to go there. But she done pushed him there. Okay? Anyway, so Gigi and Darius are still waiting at the restaurant. When all of a sudden, old drunken Mac calls her. Now, Mac done got drunk and he's mad with the mayor. And he actually thinks that Gigi is responsible for the mayor not helping him. So he calls Gigi and he keeps telling her that she should have left it alone. You should have left it alone. And Gigi don't know what he's talking about. And she immediately assumes that he has done something to Sophia because she cannot get in touch with Sophia. So she's like, where's my daughter? What have you done to Sophia? He's like, you should have left it alone. He kept saying it. And finally, he hangs the phone up in her face. So Gigi, being hasty like she is, jumps up and tells Darius that she's got to go. She runs out, jumps in the car in a haste again. She calls Roberto because she knows that he was the last person that Sophia saw. And he tells her, she asks him, have you seen Sophia? He says, no, I hadn't seen her in 2 hours when she dropped me off. So they get off the phone. Like I said, Sophia was Zora. Okay? So Gigi makes it to Mac's apartment. This is where it gets out of hand again. She makes it to Mac's apartment. She's looking for Sophia. She's arguing and fighting with him. Mac tries to put her out, but she don't leave. They get into this verbal altercation. Gigi hits Mac, and then they start fighting. They tab Mac's apartment. He rams onto the wall. There's this big hole in the wall. They done tore up the sheetrock on the wall now. And at some point, he tells her, he said, you want to fight? Let's fight. So he throws her to the floor, tackles her to the floor. And some kind of way, he rolls over on top of her and he starts to choke Gigi. I mean, he starts choking her so hard, he almost strangles her to death. And then some kind of way she gets some strength and she reaches and she sees a broken bottle. And she actually picks up this broken glass, this sharp glass, and she jugs Mac in his neck. He starts bleeding. And all I could think about was that scene on Underground when Rosalie jugged Bill in his neck when Bill tried to rape her that night in season 1. And he bled out. Well, this is what's happening to Mac. And he's gurgling and stuff on the floor, blood just running out everywhere. And he's telling Gigi to call an ambulance. But Gigi keeps telling me, where's Sophia? Tell me where Sophia is. He don't know where Sophia is now. But he keeps telling her, tell me where she is. Tell me where she is. she keeps telling him that, and he keeps telling her, call an ambulance. I mean, he's just bleeding everywhere. I don't know if he's gonna die or not. I got a feeling he's gonna be dead. And when he dies, what is Gigi gonna do? How is she gonna get herself out of this one? Because the police already know she was after him. I know they fought in that apartment, but she's gonna be a murder suspect more than likely. And they told her, that girl, her daughter told her to leave it alone. Everybody told her to leave it alone. I know she thought something had happened to Sophia. I know she did. But she should have known that Sophia wouldn't have been at Mac's house. Why would she have gone to Mac's house? How could he have gotten hold of her if she was with Roberto? So Gigi was being irrational to even think that Mac had access to Sophia. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen when it comes back in August. And see, the ironic thing is all of this stuff happened just as Gigi had decided to leave things alone. She was about to get what she needed from Michaela, because if she had waited, Michaela would have called her and told her what Mac tried to do to her, and she could have used that to get Mac. Okay? That's all she had to do was wait. But she messed things up. This is what happened when you let self get in something. Now she done messed up. How's she gonna get out of this mess? Ooh, I can't wait. Mid-season finale. They doing the same thing they do with Scandal and what they did with Empire, which is going to be my next review. So now, it comes back in August. I cannot wait to see. I want to know if Kevin actually went through with sleeping with Aaron. Probably did, but I just want to know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I want to see what's going to happen. Did Mac die? Probably so. But who knows? It could be some twist written into the script. Anyway, y'all, thanks for clicking on the link. Make sure you click like and share. And I'll see you on the Empire review. Bye-bye.